Hi everyone, it's Micheline from Micheline Makes again. In this vlog I'm going to show you two ways you can waterproof fabric. The first one is it's something I've tried before, and I showed you a purse that I made with it, and this is ordinary fabric that I had and I waterproofed it. It's got a waterproof layer on it, and that's been ironed onto the fabric. The only thing I don't like about this is it makes it very noisy, but if you don't mind the noise, it's a good product to use. I got mine from, what did I get it from? I can't remember where I got it from, but I'll put it up there. And you buy it by the meter. I'll have to find out what the name is because it doesn't actually have a name on here. You buy it by the meter, and then you cut the amount that you need for your fabric, and along here in French, in German and in Spanish it tells you to iron on that side. So you don't iron on the inside curl bit, you iron on that side, because it's a bit of an awkward thing. I'll cut that off there. So the paper automatically curls that way. So that's the side that's going to go to your fabric, and this is the side that you're going to iron. Now it says to iron on this side, and it says 8 seconds on 2 dots on the iron, so that's a medium heat. So if I get some fabric and I press it for 8 seconds, let's have a look and see what happens. I'm going to be doing this with one hand because I've got to hold the camera. I've taken this cotton fabric. It's actually a very cheap cotton. It's not the best quality. It's quite a rough texture cotton, I would say. But first of all, I'm going to press the creases out, those bands and things, the folds out of it. And I always use a steam on this. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the steam off so that I don't use steam on this when I use this piece of paper, this protective stuff. And this, as I said, when you hold it up, it actually has an automatic curl that way. But the part that curls is the one that goes to the bottom. And then what I do is I put that over the top, and then I put a cloth over it. So I've got it there, and then I'm going to put a pressing cloth over it. And my pressing cloth is this. It's like a see-through net type of material that I bought from the local supermarket, and it's called a pressing cloth. I think it was only about 50p or something. But I put it over that fabric, and then I'm going to press. I've got my iron on 2 spots, turn it to 2 spots, and then press for 8 seconds. I keep moving around just to make certain it gets an even heat all the way around. But I'm pressing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And there, when it comes out like that. You can actually see it. You can see the weave underneath it. And that is now well and truly stuck to that fabric. It actually changes the colour of the fabric. I think that's another thing I wasn't very keen on. It changes the fabric. It dulls it down to, this has gone from a nice blue to more of a grey blue. Nevertheless, it's still waterproof now, and I can use it for anything really. It's very good. I did try putting extra heat on to see if it made a difference if I added extra heat. The extra heat, and when I say putting extra heat on, not so much the 3 dots, but using my heat press, which can go up to 200 degrees, 180 degrees, 200. And that seemed to make it work a lot better. See how that's brought the crease out there? even though I pressed it, it's brought the crease out. I'd be tempted to do it again for another 8 seconds, just to see if that makes any difference. Let's leave it in place for 8 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's see if that's made any difference. Not really. So it doesn't seem to make any difference how much extra heat you give it. It still stays the same. I tilt that like that, you can see it's kind of a whitey grey. So if you wanted to waterproof some fabric, that's an alright idea, but you do tend to lose a bit of the colour when you're doing it this way. And so that one, I used the heat press on it. The colour has come back slightly more than the previous way, which is a really hot heat, and it presses it really hard. This is my heat press here. That's my heat press. If I can get in focus. There, that's my heat press. I basically set the temperature to about 180, put it in for 50 seconds, and this is what it comes out like. Really, it does a good job, but better than probably the other one did, because you don't get as much of a grayness about it, but it does have that crinkly feel about it, which is not a big major issue, but it's not something I like. Well, this is called odicoat, and it basically turns your fabric becomes oilcloth. Basically a jar of jelly-like liquid that you use to turn your fabric into a waterproof. Often handy for using for when you're making purses. So for example, I'm about to make a purse and I have these front flaps. This is the front flap and that's the inside flap. And obviously they're going to get a lot of wear and tear on that front of the flap. So I want to waterproof that and that. And I also want to waterproof the flap at the back. So I also want to waterproof this flap part. So that's going to be that bit there, that when it's like this, that goes over, and I want to waterproof all of that. So what you do is basically, I've got this so I can work on it and I'm not going to damage it's just an old piece of card from a file that I had, and I'm going to use that for protection. And they supply you with a card, which is like a credit card, and you can either use a paintbrush or you can use the card to spread it over your fabric. So this is what I'm going to use. So I unscrew this, and you can see it's quite a jelly type of thing. It's got a gloss to it, slight gloss, and I'm going to basically take a piece of that with the card, scoop a little bit of it onto my credit card, and then spread it out onto there, starting from the middle and working out. I'm going to go right out as far as I can. It will change the fabric colour a little bit, but when it dries, that will likely dry a bit back to its normal colour. And do the same again. You don't really need too much to start you off, but because what you're going to be doing is you're going to coat it 2 or 3 times to make sure everything is waterproofed and coated. So that bit there needs doing. I'll just do a little bit more at this end here. coat some of the fabric, so I don't want to drag too much across it. You have to make sure you don't get any pieces of strands strands on it, but you can see that's the first coat. I will probably do about 3 coats. So I'll put that to one side and I'll do the next one. I've got 3 pieces to do. This is the next one. To leave that for approximately 20 minutes. Now the fact that I had some interfacing on the back of there, it made it easier to coat it. I would imagine the first coat's always the hardest because you've got to because it's got to soak in on a dry fabric, and then once you've got that sealed in, then the second coat will be a lot better to do. So these 3 pieces have now had 3 coats of odicoat on it. It's actually very, I don't know if you can see, there's a reflective surface on that, and it's pliable, it's not crackly, and it's really, really nice. It means it's protected. I scraped the 3 coats on with the card. But I would probably say your last coat would be better with a brush. For no other reason that there are slight marks where the card's gone, and if you get a brush you can give it an even stroke. But I'm being slightly overcritical because you can't really see it there. But that's the odicoat. So I've now got some waterproof outers for a purse. Highly recommended. It says cotton jeans and lace, so that would be ideal for that. I don't know if you were doing any woolen, if you're making a woolen purse, whether it would work with woolen fabrics. So that's one you could use. Odicoat, fabric becomes oilcloth, and it's really, really nice.